Somewhere I Belong, Chapter 4, Part 3. It's a human term. The point is, I have no interest in Rarity, so I'm going to help you out. Thanks? What should I do? First off, tell me 3 things you don't like about her. What? Just do it, he said as he sat down in a chair. Well, she can be a bit fussy sometimes. Rarity also has this habit of making mountains out of molehills, and she can be a bit selfish. He finished. Isaac smirked at the dragon. Congratulations, Spike. You passed the first test. What test? We now know that this isn't some type of schoolyard crush. You recognized her flaws and are willing to accept them. If you were just after her body, then you wouldn't have paid attention to them. Oh, I get it, he said as his head perked up. Now, what does Rarity like to do in her off time? I help her jewel hunting. She likes to come up with new designs for outfits, and she reads a lot. What kind of books does she read? Romance novels mostly. Okay, now we have a place to start. My suggestion is find out her favorite authors and stories. Come see me again when you do, he said as he began to try on the shirts Rarity made him. He pulled the black t-shirt with deep red sleeves over his head and looked at himself in the mirror. What do you think? Looks cool, he said with a shrug. Think the white will look better, he asked. I guess. Hey, can I ask you something? Sure. What can you tell me about Twilight and the others? I'm still fairly new here, and I'm trying to adapt to this place. Well, Twilight runs the library and is Princess Celestia's private pupil. She's the princess's personal student? He said in surprise. I see. So that's why she told me to live with her. What about Rainbow and AJ? AJ runs the apple farm at the edge of town. She's cool, level-headed, and can't tell a lie to save her life. Rainbow is cocky and rash, so I've heard, Isaac said as he rolled his eyes. She's also very loyal, which makes up for her boisterous attitude, he said as he shrugged. What about the pink one? Pinky? You can't really explain her. She has this habit of sneaking up on you when you least expect it, he said as he quickly glanced around the room. She's very random and unpredictable. I see. What about the yellow one? That's Fluttershy. That pony is scared of almost everything. She's really good at taking care of animals, though. She's really that shy? Oh yeah, she flinches like a cat to a water pistol. Just don't get her angry, or she'll use the stare on you. The what? It's this thing she can do that will make any animal or pony freeze up in fear. Twilight said that she used it on a fully grown dragon once. Fully grown dragon, he said as he raised an eyebrow. Yeah, I'm only 17. Full-grown dragons can grow to be as big as a house. That also brings up another question. Why do you live with Twilight? Are you two like adopted brother and sister or something? No, I'm just her assistant. Are you her assistant by choice? Yeah, Twilight hatched me when she was a filly and... She what? How did she hatch you? He said as he raised an eyebrow. She went nuts with magic during an entrance exam. My egg got zapped and I hatched from it. Oh, so that's how it works. Mind if I open a window? It's getting stuffy in here, he said as he moved over to the window. Sure, the dragon said with a shrug. Cool, he said as he opened the window. One other thing I've been wondering about. What's the typical diet for ponies? Diet? You know, what they eat. Fruit, vegetables, grain, hay, stuff like that. Isaac let out a sigh. I was afraid you might say that. Why? Humans are carnivorous. Spike looked at him in surprise. But I saw you eat vegetables and fruit the other day at Sugar Cube Corner. Most humans are omnivores. Omni what? I can eat both meat and vegetables to sustain myself. It's just that meat tastes better in my opinion. What about you? I'm assuming you're carnivore as well. Nope, vegetarian. And some gemstones every now and then. Gemstones? You know, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, stuff like that. How does... Never mind. So, there's no place to buy meat around here. Nope, sorry. Oh well, can't be helped, I suppose. How much do I owe you? Isaac asked as he pulled out a bit bag. That'll be 60 bits. Isaac nodded and handed the dragon the money and picked up his new shirts. As he did, the door shot open to reveal a very angry Rainbow Dash who was wearing a dress that was causing her some discomfort. Uh-oh. You are so dead, she bellowed. Isaac quickly grabbed the shirts. Time to go, he said as he ran towards the window. Isaac jumped out of the shop and onto the ground. He looked up to see Rainbow staring at him in surprise. He quickly hightailed it back towards the library. As he reached the door, he saw a familiar white unicorn mare with an electric blue mane. Hey, Isaac, I was just coming to see if I could... Yeah, sounds great, let's go, he said as he began to walk at a fast pace. Where's the fire? Let's just say I need to dash off. What? I'll explain once we're at the shop, he said as he ran off with Vinyl in hot pursuit. Once they reached the shop, Isaac took a moment to collect his thoughts. He then explained what had happened at the boutique. Ah, I see. Good thing you were able to get out of there. Yeah, me too, he said as he sat down. So you want to listen to some music? Sure, she said as he withdrew his pea-pod. Vinyl took it and plugged it into her speakers. She shuffled the music, and rock music began to blast through the speakers. The mayor sat next to the human and smiled. Interesting taste in music. I like to have a variety, he said with a grin. Thanks for letting me hide out here to avoid Rainbow. No problem. What are friends for? She said with a grin spread across her face. She then noticed the human's white shirt with dark blue sleeves and stripe going down the center. Cool shirt, by the way. Thanks. Rarity just made it. The human then noticed Vinyl's low-cut top and jet black jeans that seemed to hug her figure. You look good too. Aw, thanks, she said with her cheeks blushed. So, how did you get Poison Joke on you anyway? I accidentally fell in a bush when I was in the forest. Oh, that place is covered in it, she said as she slid closer to the human. So what type of music do you listen to? Mostly rock, electric, alternative stuff like that. What about you? Electric and dubstep. Really? Yeah, it helps me with my DJ skills. You're a DJ? Yep, she said as she let out a yawn. Sorry, I had a late night. If you want to take a nap, I can leave and... Nah, it's fine. I'm used to being tired, she said as she rested her head against his arm. Isaac noticed the mayor's motion and started to blush at the mayor's action. Isaac felt his eyes become heavy, and he soon drifted off to sleep with the white mare resting on his shoulder. Isaac was awoken by a loud knock at the door. He looked over to see that Vinyl was fast asleep on the couch. He gently slipped his arm from her grip and made his way over to the door. Who is... was all that he got out before being grabbed by a familiar pair of cyan hands. Rainbow pulled a small pill from her pocket and shoved it in the human's mouth. Isaac swallowed the pill in surprise and yelped as Rainbow jumped behind him and locked her arms around the front of his chest. The two took flight towards the sky. Are you crazy? He yelled as they flew higher. Rainbow tightened her grip and zoomed towards the clouds. Isaac looked up at the cyan mare, who had a devilish grin spread across her face. Rainbow stopped just above a cloud and loosened her grip on the human, who was holding on for dear life. Rainbow, don't. Sorry, she said as she let go of him. Isaac yelled in fear as he felt himself plummet towards the ground. Oh man, you should have seen your face. Priceless. That wasn't funny. I could have died, he yelled. I'd be able to catch you, she said as she sat up. That's so comforting, he said, his voice dripping in sarcasm. How am I not falling through the cloud? He said as he looked over the edge and saw the busy town below. That pill I gave you allows non-Pegasi to walk on clouds for a day, she said with a smile. Where did you get it? Twilight made them, so she wouldn't have to use magic every time they came to my house. Your house? Yeah, I'm a Pegasus. I live in the clouds, she said as she rolled her eyes. Okay, why did you drag me up here anyway? Payback, she said as she began to fly away. I'll pick you up later, she said with a sly grin. What? No, you can't just leave me up here, he yelled as Rainbow snickered and flew back towards Ponyville. God damn it! Isaac thought as he looked at the shrinking blue dot. He laid back on the cloud and stared up at the sky to see a familiar gray mare coming towards him. Is that Ditzy? As the mare came closer, Isaac could make out her yellow mane. Hey, over here, he yelled as he waved his arms. The gray mare heard the yells and flew over to the human. Isaac saw that she had a tan messenger bag and a tan collared shirt with long khaki pants that stretched to her ankles. Hey, Isaac, what are you doing up here? She asked as she landed next to the human. Rainbow dropped me up here for payback, he said with a grumble. The gray mare gave a nod and pulled out a tin box. What's that? My shift just got over, so I'm having lunch. Want some? She asked as she pulled out a muffin. I couldn't take your food. It's fine, I have another, she said as she handed it to him. Isaac took the muffin and smiled at the mare. Thanks, what's your job anyway? He asked as he took a bite. I'm a mail mare, she said with a grin. Oh, so a postal worker. I guess that explains the letters I saw the other day. Yep, what about you? Well, I'm freelancing around town for the time being. What about back where you're from? I was a college student, and I was working for a military antique dealer. That sounds cool, she said as she finished her muffin. Yeah, not the best job in the world, but it puts food on the table, he said as he took the final bite of his muffin. Hey, can I ask you for a favor? Sure. Think you can get me down from here? I can't carry anything over 100 pounds. I'm scared it might drop you, she said with a weak grin. Wouldn't want that, now would we? He said in a light-hearted tone. Yeah, if you want, I could probably go and get some other Pegasi. It's fine. Rainbow said this pill lasted all day, and I'm sure that she wouldn't leave me up here until the pill wears off, he said as he laid back on the cloud. True. Rainbow likes pranks, but she'd never hurt any pony on purpose, she said as she looked back at the human. The two continued to chat as the afternoon crept around.